Okay, so you can see here's the bone, here's the cup. You can see there is a little cartilage around the edge of the joint, but most of this is just a shredded labrum. So real beat up, not very healthy tissue. So this is where also the cup is prominent. So I'm going to remove the labrum, we'll look at the edge of the cup, and then we'll kind of take down that prominence because all of this is just calcium or bone behind it and just not a healthy labrum. But overall, cartilage looks quite healthy. So let me open up the capsule, I'll show you the front. So you can see this is actually a labrum at the top. Look at that. It's just absolutely shredded. So I'm glad that we're moving forward with this, and obviously this is something that can't be repaired. So we've got a good or well-formed bottom front of the cup, and really not much prominence in the front quadrant of your acetabulum. It's all here at the top. So let's get this labrum out, make a new one for you, and I think we should have you set. Now that I've removed the labrum, there is some delamination to the cartilage on the edge of the cup. This is lifted up. I don't know how far it goes, but it looks like we're probably going to be doing a microfracture procedure through here when you look at that flap coming up. So let me get that out, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's out so we can quantify the size a little bit better. Okay, so we've reduced this size of the area that needs to be microfractured by at least 50% because a lot of this was sticking out to about here, and that was the prominence of bone. And you can see that pincer or prominence of the cup has been taken down, so this is actually going to be pretty small when it's all said and done. So let me go out of traction. I'll show you what the ball looks like next. Okay, you see that's the front labrum that I haven't taken out yet, but look at how bruised it is. It looks awful. So very painful, and you see this is femoral neck and what's happened to it over time just from hitting the edge of the joint. So what I'm going to do now is we're just going to get a little bit better exposure. Your capsule's kind of tight. We'll work around that. And then I'll be able to kind of get a little bit better exposure here, and we'll get this whole femoral neck reshaped to make it nice and round and spherical so it fits better into the joint. So let me start working on that. I'll show you what it looks like here shortly. Okay, so here's your preoperative shape. You see reasonably round in the back, but really it's the front where you're just very flat and oval shape, and that's what's hitting against the edge of the cup for a long time. Good, yep. And you can see here's your shape now. So now we've got you nice and spherical. So that ball's going to fit a lot better into the joint. It should be a lot better for you when you take a look at the inside. The bone was a little bit soft. Not bad. And you can see here. See now, I've got you now nice and round and spherical, and that goes all the way down to the bottom of the femoral neck there. So we're looking a lot better with regard to your global shape. So let me go up in traction. I'll show you the inside of the joint. But you can see it's just a little spongy through here, but we still got a nice shape, and I think this will heal in very nicely. But I might just make sure calcium and vitamin D, make sure that's being supplemented in your postoperative recovery, and I think that'll help you out quite a bit. Okay, so let me go up in traction. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so you can see here's your cup now. You see I took down the edge of it, so we're nice and smooth. We're going to have a small microfracture procedure on the edge of the cup. You can see we're all the way down to the bottom front, so labrum's removed. Everything else is cleaned up nicely down the back, so cup is properly reshaped. And again, the size of this cartilage loss is much smaller. Graft's going to lay in over quite a bit of it, so I think this is going to heal in very nicely, especially kind of when you take a look at the rest of the joint, the cartilage on the ball and central ball look perfectly healthy. So there's just mechanical wear from the combined impingement, and I think with the improvement to the shape on both sides of the joint, I think we should be set. So let me show you those x-rays now and show you kind of the difference from where we started to where we are now. Okay, so here's that microfracture area, so you can see why you need a labral graft. You've got cartilage here and cartilage behind here. We need something to wall off that area so we can have it fill, otherwise the blood from the microfracture is just going to fall out. So that's where the labral graft comes in handy. This is the cup before, so you can see I've got that point just sticking down way too far. Okay, and you can see when you look at it afterwards, I took it down. So now you got a nice weight-bearing surface there. That allowed us to reduce your microfracture area by at least 50%. So I think that's going to be helpful. So let me start working on the labral graft and the microfracture procedure, and I'll show you what it looks like here shortly. So you can see I have your graft all the way down to the bottom of the joint. You can see it coming up neatly through the front, so you see everything's nice and clean. This is your microfracture. You can see it's completely covered up by the labral graft. So, gosh, I don't think I'm going to be able to justify using the CPM machine. I think we're just a little slow with you, but I think you're going to be okay. We'll just use a regular CPM machine for 2 weeks. I don't think we'll use it for 6 to 8 hours a day for 6 weeks. And you can see you're just in a much better spot. Your cartilage on the ball looks beautiful, and the labral graft looks awesome. So we're in a really nice position. This is going to feel a lot better than where you started. And you can see now when I go down and look at the back of the joint, you can see all the way down the back and up the back. So I think we've got a really nice graft for you. So you can see the graft looks great coming over the top, perfect seal with the femoral head. So this is a very different hip joint now. So I hope it works very well for you. The shape looks a lot better. Just take your time, let everything heal, and I think you should be in a much better position. Again, we technically did a microfracture procedure, but because the graft covers up nearly all of it, I think we'll just let everything heal, and I think we should be okay. I may talk to you about that, though, just because maybe it's possible when that graft is lifting up away from the edge of the joint, we might need to protect that area a little bit more. So if you're open to it, I may just reverse what I've been talking about. I may say we might just use the CPM machine longer. So I'm just going to extend the prescription, and then you decide how long you want to do it. You can make a good argument that it's probably the safest way to get the best ingrowth through there. So I wish you all the best. I hope this gets you back to what you enjoy doing, and all the best to your son.